Hey everybody, and welcome to the season finale of the only podcast produced by three winners of IMSA's Spirit of the Race Award. That is the Check Engine Podcast. Thanks so much for being with us. I'm Nick. I've got the same two co-hosts with me as always. Tristan is here.
Yo.
And the most excited Andrew ever is here today.
Oh man, you know what? I had honestly forgotten about that. We had talked about so much other stuff, but I am incredibly excited.
Like, this dude owes me a new door. Like, he came bursting through like he's a fucking Kool-Aid man. There's an Andrew-shaped hole in my garage door.
I'm surprised he didn't arrive inside out. Simply, like, just flipped all the way inside out with excitement.
I did consider driving my car into your home in celebration.
You guys!
Straight up the steps.
This was better. He actually brought alcohol today to celebrate.
Unusual.
This is. Are you excited that the season's over, or are you excited for something else?
I'm excited for a couple things. Listen, we can't just give it all away at the top.
All right.
You just can't do it.
All right, fine. Well, we won't. But Andrew's excited.
We are men of mystery.
We are men of mysteries, and we are not pros. We're just three guys who have a deep passion for the automobile, have a deep passion for car culture and for motorsports, and we know there's a bunch of you out there just like us. You can find us streaming on anchor.fm/checkenginepodcast or anywhere else podcasts are streamed, but we don't want you just to listen. We want this to be a discussion with you. We don't want us just talking at you. So, hey, just reach out to us, all right? We have our own website. It's checkenginepodcast.com. We have an email there, direct email. It's inbox@checkenginepodcast.com. We're all over social media. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter, we've got Instagram. Andrew's entertaining as ever on Twitter because he's always arguing with somebody who thinks that they know more than he does.
It's Twitter. You have to get in fights.
Fights or just be fawning all over Bozzy.
Listen. He's great.
He is great.
We got to get him on the show. I'm trying to get him on the show because I can't find anyone in the industry who can do exactly what he does.
Come on on. Yes, come on with us. Come talk with us. Like I said, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, we're there. Find us there, like us there, share us there, all of these social things. And also, if you're really, really, really into us, you can reach out and support us as well.
Or you want to give us Christmas gifts, because,
yeah,
we're heading that way.
We're getting there.
Whatever you may celebrate.
We're getting there.
Christmas, Hanukkah,
That's
Kwanzaa.
true. Holidays.
Gifts.
Even if it's just a Thanksgiving gift.
Yeah, we would thank you for the Thanksgiving
I'll take turkey.
gift. I'll take turkey.
Or stuffing without fruit.
Yeah, non-fruit stuffing.
No, I'm not doing this right now.
This
stuffing
is not the
has to have
stuffing
fruit in it.
podcast.
That's the most ridiculous thing
Are
ever.
you kidding me?
But that's for another day. Because we have to tell people how to support us.
You gotta make that post public, and then we'll share it on the podcast.
We have to tell people how to support us so we can get turkey or stuffing however we'd like.
Yeah, if you support us, we can buy our own.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about it. So we have a support button at our Anchor page, anchor.fm/checkenginepodcast. We also have a Patreon page. It is patreon.com/checkenginepodcast. Anything that goes in there is going to come out the other side next season in 2019 as better content for you, whether it's we're going to more trips that we can talk about. We have better recording equipment, so we just sound better. It makes us sound better than we actually are. More swag, whatever it may be, it's not going to be pocketed by us unless it's like you specifically designated as like turkey money.
That's right.
And even that, it's not pocketing, it's just going to the grocery store.
You know what else is really important with podcasts are reviews.
Yes.
So we need some more reviews.
Yes, please.
Review us on socials. Go to iTunes and review us there. Let us know what you think about your experience.
Give us 5 stars. Or give us 4 stars and give us suggestions for improvement, because that is just as valuable. We will actually listen to what you suggest.
Yes, we're trying to make this better for you. So reviews are welcome. So on this episode 33, season finale, what is it that we're talking about?
You know, I really think that at the end of a season of a podcast, you really have to look back and see what you accomplished in the year. Especially, this is our first year.
Especially season 1.
Yeah. This is big. This is monumental. And what's important for the listeners to remember is that we are right about every fucking thing we say on the show all of the time.
And we're going to
Unqualified-
remind you just how right we were in
Unqualified
2018.
correctness.
That's right. We're right about everything.
So yeah, we can do a little timeline, little self-reflection, maybe what we think could be better. Definitely go over how, like, Nostradamus has got nothing on us.
Nah.
Like, we were so right about so many things.
I predicted that he would die and he was already dead.
That's not predicting.
That's not predicting.
Oh, is it not?
No, you were just out of the loop.
Oh, that's too
Yeah, that's just ignorance.
Maybe talk about what we're doing for our breaks. You know, that
Yeah,
might
I
be
think
something we
so.
can talk about. So how do we want to get this going? Do you want to just go right into how right we were, or do you want to just kind of give folks a timeline of what happened here?
I actually have one pace lap that we have to
Oh,
talk about.
shoot. Yeah, we got to get into pace labs.
I have one.
Nick's
too.
in the season finale and forgetting the format.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's just
not
blowing it.
professionals.
Well, it's because Andrew busted a hole through my door and brought beer. That's the problem.
We just have to talk about this because, well, obviously, okay, it's related to Ford, clearly, because they're the only thing that's going on in the
The only
industry
thing we
right
can talk about because they're the only thing happening.
now. But
Only
it's
thing
actually
making news.
This one is Lincoln. So Lincoln is making a big marketing push right now. But they don't really make anything. They don't make like a lot of cars or SUVs or anything. So their big push is about this incredible innovation they've had for their new new Aviator, the new Aviator, which is going to be an SUV.
Mm-hmm.
Something no one's ever done before. Something completely unique in the entire market space.
You have my ears.
They are innovating door chimes. Okay? All right?
Hey, as long as it's not, I'm a Ford. I'm a Ford. I'm good with that.
That's really funny. No, well, so what they did
You
is
actually said that in tune, too.
Yeah, that's the
That was
plan.
pretty good. Like, you found the key.
Yeah, I've heard those doors a lot.
anyways.
Remember, our department does fleet.
That's right.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's a good
And we deal a lot with Ford.
Yes, indeed.
Anyways, what Lincoln's doing is they've partnered with the Detroit Symphony Orchestra to, in their words, score the unique chimes, tones, and alerts. The result? God, this fucking stuff. The result? A rich, multi-sensory driving experience.
Oh, God.
From the door chimes?
From the door chimes. So
Okay,
basically what they
if
did...
you can taste your door chimes,
So
see a
was
doctor.
was it just the guy playing Triangle on his way home?
Listen, you hear it and you hear it, okay? No, what they did was
Did you see the bold italics there? Just
Yeah, exactly.
If you can hear bold italics. That's
also
what
go
Andrew's
see a
doing.
doctor.
Yeah, that too.
You have synesthesia. Synesthesia.
But you're right in Lincoln's marketing wheelhouse, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what they did is they rang up the Detroit Symphony Orchestra and they trotted out a percussionist and two violinists who then plucked and plunked and they just did like very lightly orchestra. They're not like full ass orchestra.
Because that's what I was hoping for.
No, because actually how awesome would it be to have the car start and have the full orchestra tune?
That's what I was thinking. Like,
that would be lit.
like as soon as you close the door, the interior lights go down and the car starts tuning itself.
I mean, that'd be kind of cool. But obviously they're not doing that. So it's just like literally door open chimes, seatbelt chimes, done on marimba.
Okay.
I mean,
So
Lincoln-
that's their big push.
Lincoln is pushing this so hard right now on Twitter and on all their social media pages. They want you to think that this is like the future. But you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Windows ME. When Microsoft started doing like the orchestral stuff. No one cares about this. This isn't no one's going to be like, oh shit, the Detroit Symphony Orchestra score? Oh my god, we gotta get in to Lincoln. We gotta go now. No one's doing that. They're not going to move cars based on this, are they?
No.
I don't see this having an impact on sales. Maybe you like wiggle a needle on some kind of like customer satisfaction thing about it being a nicer place to be. But I don't think you can say it's going to sell more units.
When have you ever heard someone talk about use that phrase for a car? You know what I think about this car? It's
So
nice
to be
place
fair,
to be.
I use that all the time. Or like a great place to work is the other thing I've heard. Like
Really?
if the ergonomics and the buttons and everything are in the right way. Yep.
I think that's something you notice more when it's completely absent.
Yes.
when the car's a shitbox.
When it's a terrible place to be.
But here's the other thing, like, Lincoln is so sure that this is the highest possible level of luxury. Like, this is a true experience for the user. And while I understand that bad chimes can really kind of make a car hilarious, because my dad's RAV4 sounds like an actual microwave, like, outside of it not being terrible, no one's going to care. And what's it going to come? This isn't going to be like 256K coming through. It's not going to be like pristine audio. It's going to be like
It's a
96
door
hertz.
chime.
Now,
for
how
Christ's sake.
stupid are we going to look if this is the one of the times that we're not right, the first time ever
Doesn't matter.
that we're not right, and then get
we're
this,
not.
and then get this, and then get this. Rolls-Royce starts making bespoke door chimes in 256 kilohertz audio.
I'll bet you, Loki,
Good
if
fight,
you
Gus.
tell Rolls that you want, I don't know, an 808 drum as your door chime, I'll bet you they would make that happen.
Probably. They're all custom made anyway.
I know. I'll bet you they would actually do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd love to find out. Rolls-Royce, let us know.
Yeah,
It's
reach
because
out.
they're listening, right?
Inbox at checkenginepodcast.com.
Anyway,
or find
that's
us on Twitter at
probably
checkenginepod.
Probably enough trashing Ford Motor Company for this week.
My page
This week.
for this week, yeah.
I know it seems like I'm just bagging on them, but genuinely, in terms of regularly updating news and a story that progresses, they're the only thing out there.
They are the current storyline as far as auto news
It's
goes.
either that or Tesla and good old Uncle Elon.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're getting sick of that
So
already.
we're not going to touch that one again.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of it.
So, yeah, I don't think it's gonna help sales at all. It's not gonna do anything like that. Man,
Very weird.
That's such an odd thing to hitch your wagon to.
And if this was something that they came out with, sort of 11th hour, you know what I mean? Like, the car has, I don't know, horse leather seats and the finest, I don't know. If they had a real point to make about the
Yeah.
car, and then at the last minute, like, also on top of all this luxury,
yeah,
but they don't have anything.
But
like
it's
that.
going to be all the switchgear from a Fusion
Yes.
and custom door chimes.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Sounds
Got
good.
it.
that's about right. Good job, Lincoln.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey is gonna love that one.
Oh, damn. I wonder if he was also in the orchestra.
What if you wanted a Matthew McConaughey door chime?
Why didn't they do that?
All right.
I was going to be like, your door's open.
And then when you cose it, he goes, all right.
It's Matthew McConaughey gently whispering in your ear about your car. Check engine light's coming on.
See,
Now that would sell a car. That would damn near sell me a car.
That'd be pretty cool.
yeah, I'd be about that.
Especially if his face popped up on the nav screen.
And then, send it to you. Lincoln, we have the better ideas. Not the best ideas, the better ideas.
Seriously, at us.
Oh, God.
Reach out. We'll help you out. We'll help you guys out of the doldrums. Okay, Lincoln. I texted you guys an image. I was traveling for work this week. And I got to the airport and I got to go pick up my rental car. And I was going to be they walked me to a Toyota Camry. Mm-hmm. Great.
Standard fare.
Fine. Standard fare. I'm quick in, quick out, couple hours, on the road. Doesn't matter to me. Does it start? Does it run? Are the tires flat? No? Okay, good. The rental agreement had Sirius XM included. Woo. Whatever. So they're trying it and it wasn't working on the Camry. So I didn't care, but the guy at the rental company was like, so this, the XM's not working on here. He's like, is it that big a deal? And I waffled for a second. I kind of went, wah. And they're like, well, you can have that Cadillac. And I'm like, for any extra charge? Like, nah. So I got a 2018 Cadillac XTS to drive 2 hours from the Memphis airport.
Now, what
back.
size is the XTS? I don't even know.
Mid-size is it's
So, about the same size as the Camry, or is it, larger?
it's a little bit larger than a Camry. I mean, just Cadillacs in general are larger than Toyotas, but so I get in my XTS. Interior is impeccable.
With Sirius XM.
And that didn't work in the Cadillac either, by the way.
Oh, my God.
I was
That's the punchline. You can't
all
just
that.
deliver that like that.
I was listening to podcasts all the way down and back because XM didn't work. But anyway, I got a Cadillac for $60. And so the interior was impeccable. The handling was super responsive.
Really?
It was, and maybe it's just because I'm coming from a truck that I'm driving every day that it might have felt a little bit different, a little bit snappier.
Fair.
But brakes, you think I should probably, and you're stopped. Don't even need to push the pedal down. Like everything about this car, the way it felt to drive, 2 hours one way, 2 hours back, amazingly comfortable. Everything you can think of, like when you think of like Cadillac and luxury and all that kind of stuff, the performance was there, but I hated it.
Why? Because it was ugly?
Because no, it's because he couldn't change the spark plugs.
That's not that car.
Oh,
that was only
sorry.
that one V8.
That was only
Never
one
mind.
V8.
Never mind.
I hated it because I felt old in it.
Yeah, definitely.
That I'm not either making enough money to, or I'm not retired. Like I don't have grandkids to go pick up. Like you just felt old in it.
Well, even if you're younger and have money, you're not buying a damn Cadillac.
It's just weird. I liked everything about the way it handled, the way it looked, the way it felt sitting in it, and I just like I can't wait to get out of this thing. Like I just felt so old in it.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Although I will say it's kind of interesting that a rental car can make you feel a way at all. Where
Yeah,
you know,
because it's like you're just given this. It's only kind of your choice.
if you had the Camry, you probably would barely have remembered that you even rented a car.
Because that's what the Camrys are.
Yeah.
Because that's what Camrys do.
Oh my god, that reminds me.
That and racing NASCAR.
They're the Men in Black neuralizer of cars.
I read somewhere on Twitter, and we won't get into it now. We'll save it maybe for some other time. But I read the most unbelievably bombastic and pathetic review of the new Camry, which probably would have been the one that he drove, where the guy was like wailing and moaning about the fact that it was kind of boring. I'm like, that... Okay, first of all, what year is it? Why are we having this discussion in
It's
2018?
like blaming polar bears for eating Canadians.
Well, it's kind of like...
That's what they do.
It's how you sell volume.
Yeah. That's what Volkswagen learned.
Yeah.
You get boring and you start selling tons of cars.
But, whatever. The guy was clearly off his rocker. We'll cover it at some other time. But I think it's funny that... I don't know if I've ever had a rental car so bad that it was even memorable. I mean, what have I ever rented in my life? I don't even know.
I've had a few that
You've
have made
rented
me-
a lot of
Yeah,
cars, though.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys
I've-
rent all the time.
Yeah, I've wanted to gouge my own eyeballs out.
We had an HHR.
Yeah, die. Surprised I'm still alive.
Is the HHR the worst car you've ever rented?
That's gotta be close.
What was the one in San Francisco that wouldn't go up the hill?
I didn't rent that one. I was riding in that one, but
Oh, yeah, the Kia.
it was
The
like
Kia
an
one.
early generation. I don't know what's its Kia. I didn't pay attention when I was that young, but those are pretty bad. The ones that I've driven that were the worst, probably the non-updated Chevy Malibu.
Yep.
Nick, you almost had to suffer that car with me.
Like the Malibu Max ones.
That was the one when we were going down to Austin.
Yep.
And we got the Kia instead,
Which was awesome.
which was fantastic.
And this Malibu was like, was ready to be put out to pasture. For a rental car, it had 1 million miles. The front end wobbled a little bit. And I was like, we're driving this 36 hours round trip. I'm not doing that. And went back and said, do you have anything else? And they gave me a lovely Kia Optima.
Great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we should start an extra segment or something, or just an extra little aside, like rental car reviews.
Yeah, there we go.
Maybe.
First one. First rental car review.
There it is.
Get a Cadillac, but don't expect to feel young.
Get a Cadillac if you want to feel old and accomplished.
hey, some people want that,
That's true.
That's
That's
right.
very true, especially when they're renting. You don't want to feel like the boss. Hey, maybe that's like a life hack. Rent a Cadillac if you want to feel like you're the boss pulling into the meeting,
There
but
you go.
also have a bad back.
Yeah, kind of take a minute to stand up after you get out of it. Don't stand up all the way straight right away.
Swing your legs out and go.
Deep breath, yeah. give yourself an extra minute also so you're not late to the meeting because of it.
Oh, that's so funny.
All right. Any other pace laps? Or are we going to jump into our year in review?
Yeah, let's jump.
We can jump in. If we didn't have any, I had a funny-ish anecdote, but it's not worth the time.
Okay.
All right. Wasn't that funny?
Exactly.
So, how do you want to start this? Are we just going to jump into how right we were, or do you want to kind of give folks a timeline of where we were at, or what do you think?
Maybe we start with a little bit of a timeline. I mean, last year at this time, we had no podcast at all.
None.
Right.
We had the idea presented.
Yes.
But we hadn't really done anything about it.
Twinkle in Andrew's eye.
It was on the way back from Virginia International Raceway.
It
I think
was.
we might have talked about it before, though. Briefly. I don't even know.
Yeah, I think the discussion...
Maybe you did, but the first I remember talking about it was on our trip home from Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first discussion beyond, hey, maybe we could do a podcast, and then nothing. We actually, we talked about it for, like, hours on the way back.
Definitely.
Which was
That's
like
definitely where
about a fifth of our trip,
Yeah,
because
and
that
that
was
was-
a really long ride.
Yeah, and that was where it was really born.
And
Yeah.
we kind of sat on it, and then I think one of us, Andrew, I think, brought it back up again, like probably right around this time, and then we kind of decided, you know what, let's get through the holidays.
Well, we ordered
Well,
mics.
we waited through the holidays because it took me 4.5 months to get microphones.
Yeah, that was the thing. We ordered regular microphones, the Blue Yetis, actually. And it was supposed to be like, I don't know, the good podcast mic that'll start you out and then go all the way through to when you're ready for like pro equipment. And they just never showed up. And literally never. We still don't have those mics. We had to buy a different thing.
Yep.
Because that's how long it took them to not send them.
That's right.
So, yeah.
I remember that. I remember those discussions and how frustrated you guys were getting.
Because it was...
Apocalyptically frustrated.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. But, man, so that puts us when? When was our first episode?
First episode was in March of this year.
Yeah, so that would, be basically like 5-6 months.
Yeah, so because, well, and I think at some point one of us said, you know what, let's just get through the holidays and really dive into it for the new year. Mm-hmm. But then you guys were still waiting on microphones.
Yep.
So
End of November is when we decided to do it. And then we waited, we said, hey, let's wait through the holidays. I thought to myself, great, that'll give me time to get these microphones. Wrong.
I was wrong.
But yeah, episode 1 with one microphone, not the microphones anybody ordered.
Exactly. Eventually, I just bought a different microphone because it had been so unbelievably long.
The pink mic
Pink mic.
at my kitchen table. The
It's
three of
still
us
around.
trying to lean across the table just to make sure that everything sounded good. Those first episodes, we were raw. You could tell. I mean,
Yeah,
we're still pretty rough
say-
around the edges, but
Those are pretty bad.
Like, how polished have we gotten, though?
I've almost thought about delisting those because they're pretty bad, but they're also important.
the content was. I thought the first car episode, the content was actually pretty good.
Plus, it's the journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't just get rid of them. We cover so much in those first episodes that we keep bringing up because we only tell like 20 stories.
on this podcast, you definitely get to see the process.
The Dream Car episode, the second episode, I think it's still one of my favorites.
It's good. It's really good.
And at that point, we had more than one mic.
Yes.
So we got more mics in to record then. And it just kept growing. Now we all have our own mics. We moved into a different room where the acoustics are better, and it is based on feedback from
Various listeners.
Various listeners right off the bat, like, hey, it sounds echoey. It sounds like this. It sounds like you're too far away from the mics.
We like your content, but it's hard to listen to. Was
Yeah.
literally the sentence that I heard from
Right.
a coworker at the time.
So, hey,
thanks for
thank
that.
you to all those people, though. Like, that helped a lot. By May, we had our first road trip as a podcast, where we vandalized Mid-Ohio with all of our Check Engine Podcast stickers. Every Porta-John we went into, the side of every concession stand.
So much that it was recognized at a different race
Yes.
later in the year.
It still worries me that someone is going to finally care about that. Like some law enforcement official or the owner of the person who did all the Porta Johns could be like, it was those assholes.
That would be pretty funny.
And then we'd have to like pay them something. I don't know.
For
Which
what?
is why we asked for support on Patreon.
Yeah. For what? Though?
Just in case.
Vandalism? For applying a sticker?
Yeah.
It was like a
I think even in Ohio they have better things to do.
Remember, in Ohio, they told me when I went into the gas station to buy Yingling, they told me how to get away with drinking and driving.
That's right, they did do that.
Do you want to drive with it? What?
If you're going to drink this while you drive, I suggest you put it in this paper bag.
I forgot about
Not only
that.
did they tell me how to drink and drive, they also told me the wrong way. Like, here's how you make it the most obvious that you're drinking and driving.
Put your old alcohol bottle in a paper bag.
That was really
and put the
funny.
whole paper bag up to your mouth as you drive. That's not going to give anything away.
I wonder, I mean, it can't be that Ohio has brown bag laws, because that actually was or is a thing.
Yeah, where you can't drink it in public unless it's in a bag.
Correct.
Yeah, yep.
I don't know. That's something else we have to look into. But if my point is, if they were telling me how to successfully drink and drive, I don't think they're going to care about a sticker and a porta-john or 50.
Yeah, or 50.
All right, I won't think about it until the next time you bring it up.
That's right.
Sounds
Don't
good.
think about it until we get a warrant.
Great. Does Wisconsin extradite?
Ohio?
I don't know.
Stop.
I don't know.
Why can't I be cool about anything?
Yeah, why you're just not cool.
Oh, yeah, we learned that this year. Tristan's not cool about anything.
We learned, yeah.
You knew that already.
Yeah.
So, we get through the summer months, the dog days. I think obviously major milestone was we got our first interview in August.
That was huge.
And it wasn't with just anybody. We had a bona fide, licensed, currently competing NASCAR driver who was gracious enough with his time. Josh Balicki, again, a million shout-outs for being so awesome. We also got our ass kicked by a NASCAR driver on a go-kart track.
Yeah. It's quick.
They're
What
pros
do you
for a
know?
reason, folks.
Turns out
What do you
they
know?
pay him to do it for a reason.
he's pretty good. And it's, I think he might be the first one to tell you, too. Like, it's not like we got a Kyle Busch or a Kevin Harvick or like a major quote-unquote NASCAR star, but it is a legit NASCAR racer. Check the finishing results of any race this year in NASCAR Xfinity Series. You will find his name. Like, it's 100% for real, and he interviewed us. Like,
Yeah,
he's
our-
on national
show.
TV every
Say-
weekend. He's
say-
racing tomorrow from the time we record
was gonna
this.
say,
Our
yeah.
ISM Raceway. Best of luck, Josh.
Our sticker made it on
His car
national TV.
Woo, on Road America. We got to call out Mosing Motor Cars. We go back to Mid Ohio real
Always.
quick. That was our first race car that we got our sticker on, and the fact that I say first, not only in 1 year, is pretty crazy.
Super exciting.
So cool, dude. How psyched would you be if we got our sticker on the Hyundais next year?
Oh, I'd love it. I would love it.
Leave it to Nick.
Uh-huh.
Silver-tongued bastard.
Exactly.
In October, we survived the plague.
That was big for me. That
We
was,
we were all so horribly sick that we couldn't sit down to record it. Well, it's not even like, two of us just handle it because one couldn't make it. Like, none of us could do
Yeah.
anything.
Who's
I
like-
take full credit for getting everyone sick. Thank you.
And you're
You
proud
can't
of
take
it,
credit
too.
for me getting sick.
No, not
Because
you.
I was already sick.
You're just always sick.
You're just never
Yes.
not sick.
I'm varying shades of how much coughing I'll be doing today.
But I had all of the various fevers from the Victorian age. Yellow,
Typhoid,
green.
scarlet,
Typhoid is not a color.
but it's
What
a kind of
color
fever.
would typhoid be?
Kind of puce.
I was gonna say, you son of a bitch.
Scarlet, my favorite.
Let's call it Crayola.
I think that's actually what I posted on Facebook. I was doing my own in-home reenactment of the Velveteen Rabbit. in my
Yes.
home. I don't think anyone got that. But
I
that
did.
Book's
Don't
about
worry.
the scarlet fever.
It is.
And that brings us to where we're at now. 33 episodes deep. A full, quote-unquote, year under our belts with this. I'll be honest with you, there's thoughts in the back of my mind that we wouldn't make it this far. Like
I
that,
didn't think we would either.
like we'd get bored with it, or like there'd just be too much shit going on. Like Andrew bought and moved into a house and he's still renovating it. Like job changes going on. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff happening.
And all new cars and...
We all got new. I mean,
Well, your house is still pretty new too, Nick.
well, it's a little over a year now that I've been here.
Nick had to replace an air conditioner.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
washer and dryer.
Yes.
Home renovations.
Yeah.
You moved too, Tristan. Everyone moved. Everyone got a new car.
And all this stuff going on, and yet we're still every Friday, as much as we can, we're in here plugging away. We didn't run out of ideas. That was like my big thing. It
Yeah,
was like,
my big fear was we'd run dry.
I still wake up with that fear.
and now we've actually got, hint, folks, we've got like 3 or 4 ideas stored up for next year already.
That we do.
So we got a good buffer to start the year off with.
I'm actually really excited for some of the stuff we're going to talk about next year.
It's gonna be great.
So good.
Yes.
It's going to be fun. So yeah, what do you guys see? I mean, there's obviously a lot of stuff we can polish up on, right? Like, so what, I mean, is there something that comes to mind? Like, what could be better? I mean, we've only interviewed one person, so our interview and our interview flow could be much better, especially if it's 3 people interviewing one other person. We've got to figure out a easier way to do that.
As the engineer, I'd like to see an even better increase in sound quality. I'd like to get arms for the mics so we can put them right in our faces, and
Yeah.
a little bit of,
Or headsets.
yeah, for Nick, Mr. turns his head. Yeah. And
I want to look at you both and give you both a conversation. I'm trying to be polite, damn it.
Don't be polite, be a podcast host.
Yeah. No eye contact.
Fine, fuck you guys.
And that's not what I meant. That's hurtful. Anyway,
I told you before, I'm working with assholes.
So I like to get, arms for the mics and maybe a little bit of sound deadening to throw up when we're in here, and, a couple other things. That's I'm looking forward to, kind of honing my craft a little bit.
Yeah, me too. I'm not super happy with how fluidly I don't speak a good portion of the time. Like that exact thing.
Right there.
As I'm getting distracted by the thought of, wow, this really sounds like shit. I just feel like I need to speak a little more agilely.
I mean, that's a good way to
Well
put
done.
it.
He made it finally.
Yeah.
I think so too.
You know what it is.
And that's going to come, that's just going to come with us getting more comfortable doing this, right? More comfortable in front of a microphone. But at the same time, we don't want to be like so rigid and so like regimented that it gets boring.
Yeah, I think that's what Andrew was mentioning. Wants it to flow better. That's going to be the opposite of rigid and regimented. So
Right. Well, when I listen to the podcast, I really get annoyed at how much I say
Oh yeah, me too. So like the vocal tics.
Yeah, all that stuff.
So support us, and we'll
yeah.
get Andrew some vocal coaching.
Yeah,
need some sound
Patreon.com.
deadening and microphone arms.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, patreon.com/checkengine podcast.
Nick a big old headset.
Get me a headset. Like the big cans on the ears,
Yeah.
too.
We'll
Definitely.
get Tristan a cough button.
Yeah.
A mic
you go.
mute
It's like
button.
and then
Like a dead man switch or something.
and then if we get the mic arms, you can put them right in your face, so I can turn your gain down, so you don't hear me through your microphone.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
No, we would like to, I personally would like to maybe even get some better quality equipment if we can continue building our audience, continue getting more listens, all that good stuff, continue getting support from the listeners to get better equipment. I really think that that's some, next level stuff.
Yep.
But we've really done very well with what we have, I think.
I think we have too, and that's where I want to. First off, listeners, constructive criticism, please. But where do you?
I'll take insults.
Whatever.
Although I respect your right to just tell me I suck.
Yeah, that's cool.
I also reserve my right to just ignore you.
Right. So how about this? Say whatever you want. If you want us to take it to heart, just make a constructive criticism. Where do you think we could improve?
So we can have some new season resolutions.
And then
Ooh, I like that.
to spin it around, what have we done well? What
What do you want more of? Be it, content, be it types of discussion, be it, who you want to hear talk. Tell Tristan to shut up. Whatever.
Well, that was actually a question for the two of us. What do you think we've done well? For the listeners too, but
Yeah.
what do you guys think we've done well?
I honestly think, and I did not see this coming. What's happening though? You playing footsie?
Nick
Lost my pen. My fidget spinner's gone. What am I gonna do?
I actually found one of those. Totally off on a tangent. I found one of those at work. I don't understand.
This is way better.
I totally agree. A pen is better than the
Oh, God.
Oh no, not in the mic. Tristan's gonna be so mad. When he
Yep.
goes back to.
Nick's track is gone now. I accidentally deleted it.
Anyways, one of the things that we've done very well at that very much surprised me, because it was my biggest concern going in, is exactly keeping new episode formats, new content, all this new stuff going as we've continued to build episodes. It didn't, to my mind, it didn't get stale. We didn't repeat episode format too often. We didn't repeat topics too often. Ford aside, that's not my fault.
Yeah, that's just
Ford's fault.
that's just the news cycle.
Yeah, I think we did really well progressing from one to the other.
Yeah, and I think we kept the core concept. I mean, part of the attraction for us to this was how much, as we say in our intro, how much we enjoy these conversations that we've had for years in all different kind of places where it's good, if sometimes heated discussion. It's I think it's interesting. The biggest thing for me that was like, yeah, I think we're definitely doing the right thing is actually my mother, who is not a car person, says to me, like, I like listening to your podcast because you guys are fun to listen to. Even if she has to, like, sit there on her phone with Google and look up what the heck we're talking about. Like, and you got to take it with a grain of salt. It's, your mom. How much do you take that as, true, criticism or not? But, it's something that if she's willing to at least, because, as I mentioned, cars are not her thing. If she's willing to repeatedly listen to the three of us discuss cars, there's got to be something else entertaining going on. And I think that's my thing. I think we've done that the best, is keep close to our core concept of just us talking about cars because we thought it was entertaining.
What I think we've done really well, and I think Andrew, as the brainchild of this whole thing, the statement that you set out, you told us early on when we set about doing this, and it's something that I actually repeat to people when they ask about what we're doing, is the automotive industry, like, you can discuss it a different way than it has been done for the last 30, 40, 50, whatever years.
Yeah.
And that's really what we've done. We've kept, we've talked flying cars, we've talked video games, we've talked all of those different things, but it still centers around the car. Like, we're doing things a different way.
That's what I try to keep in mind because, and this really transitions really well into the next segment, I do what I can to try and build episode ideas and format, my blogs and stuff like that, so that they are a very different voice from what you often hear. So much of the automotive coverage is very meek. It's very
I think
unexpressive.
There's three flavors, in my opinion. There's the press that covers the auto industry practically from within the auto industry, where that's kind of meek. You've got the, everybody trying to be another Top Gear.
Yes.
Where it's car show as entertainment. It's not necessarily like
About the car.
about the cars. They bring that up because clearly the hosts, well, not even in all cases, but a lot of cases, the hosts are actually car people, but the show or writing or other stuff is meant to be the entertainment, not the cars.
Right.
And then there's kind of the, like, internet stepchild of the two, where
Jalopnik.
let's say exactly where everybody else is then trying to be Jalopnik. It was one of those three things.
I totally agree.
It's in the industry journalism, Jalopnik or Top Gear clones.
And my biggest issue with specifically the Jalopnik format, which I very much do not want to be, is that they try to do all of the cars as entertainment business, but keep all the same jokes as the old industry insiders. And to me, I can't stand it. I really go to Jalopnik almost daily to hate read it, and
But you're
get
still
banned
going.
from the comment section.
Crying
regularly.
and raging, and yeah.
I do steal some of their content so we can cover it from a different angle.
But
the way.
to be fair, we could almost put this in the "we were right" section. We need a whole other section about topics we've done that then Jalopnik has done.
That's true.
'Cause
That is true.
That happens a lot.
Which leads us perfectly into the coup de grace of this episode.
Oh God.
We were right.
We were right. And I thought that we were just going to be talking a load of crap, and at the end of the year, we're going to be like, well, that was pretty rough.
Wow, we suck at this.
So what's our batting average? We don't have one.
But you know what? We actually managed to do some things that were pretty interesting. I'll start with one that I took very personally. So in the middle of our season, the middle of the year, I did a 3-week-long series on Nissan where I effectively shut the company down, which I think was pretty cool. No. But I did rip on them for making uninspired, boring cars, then creating a Halo car to attract people to the brand and not backing it up at all. The week after I wrote my 3rd blog post, Nissan announced not only that they were bringing the Juke back, but that they were bringing the Juke, which was the second one I wrote, I think.
Yep.
It was number 2. It was number 2. And I just shit all over the Nissan Kicks was the replacement. They're going to bring the Juke back with similar styling. So they just did everything I told them to do. That specific article.
That was amazing. When you said take something, we were taking something personal, I thought you were going to bring up how Skoda built the dream car that you built.
That's another thing. Skoda stole my dream car idea basically word for word. They took the exact interior. They took all of my ideas.
It was not exact interior.
Yeah, it was.
Their interior was red. Yours was lime green.
I don't
trimmed.
even care about this color thing. We're not... Listen, they stole my car.
But it was close.
They just chose a different colorway.
Oh my god. That's colorway. That one I felt really good about. Whatever. That car had been in development for probably like 10 years at this point. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I was right.
Yeah,
totally
and even if it's like, okay, even if you take that, it was in development for however many years, who knows that even in like car journalism?
That's true.
The fact that you can take and look at the company and say this is what you need to do, and you, one person, entirely amateur, non-professional car podcaster, can come up with the right answer.
That's pretty impressive.
That's impressive.
That's very impressive.
And it's not the only time we've done it.
No, not at all.
Because that segues nicely into my absolute greatest hit.
Yours is really
this
good.
season. If you go back and listen to our episode on kind of King for a Day, where if you were running a car company, what would you change? Basically, listen to my section on Volkswagen.
That's right.
And,
that was so good.
And it is exactly what Volkswagen did.
Like 2 months later.
Yeah, they
everything.
They re-emphasized the quality of their interiors. They upped their tech level. They re-emphasized the German engineering. They brought the fun advertisements back.
Absolutely did. Better get a Jetta.
And then like literally, especially for that new Jetta, and it's spreading now.
I remember watching that commercial being like, those German bastards.
Because I called it a mile away.
Everything.
And that's like, if you go and listen to my segment on what Volkswagen should do, they did exactly that. And so we are, definitely able to reproduce this success. And I think that's pretty neat.
That's pretty crazy. Look, we can talk about Ford. Again.
But
just think, remember our very first episode, the very first Pace Lap we talked about was the Ford CEO.
Well, yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's right.
It started our podcast. It's still a Pace Lap in November, circling back with Lincoln and a Matthew McConaughey goddamn reference.
That's right. No, we were like, we'll see what happens when the new CEO. Oh, God.
CEO comes in. And then we go to the Tinder episode, and we're all swiping right on Ford because of how great they had done to that point.
Yeah.
And then when they had to make the announcement about the cars, we're like, this is the dumbest idea ever.
Yeah. And I think,
now,
honestly...
I will admit that I said as a business nerd, I was intrigued by a company, especially someone that size, a company that size, taking a risk like that, and I wanted to see how it turned out. I didn't think it would work. And none of us did, and it turns out...
And I think that's something that, like, we recorded and released that emergency brake episode, like, in 2 days.
Yeah.
And, honestly, regular car media was still talking about the announcement, and we had already jumped to implications.
Yeah, well...
And what we thought would happen.
Because immediately after that, Ford's stock price went up, and it's literally the last time it's done that in 4 months at this point. What's so interesting to me...
And that's what we said would happen.
Yeah, that's exactly what we said. What's so interesting to me about the coverage on Ford now, people are still kicking that can down the road. It's still... just wait. It's going to happen. It's going to go up. It's going to go up. It's going to go up.
Well, they're building trucks for Volkswagen now. It's all turning around, man.
Maybe. What's so interesting is that I don't know... I'm not a business guy. I don't know what short, medium, or long-term results truly are when it comes to like stock price, when it comes to a business.
Or what they should be. Like what you're shooting for.
But what is short term? It can't be less than 6 months. And it can't really be more than that, right? Because
I mean, if you're steering a ship that big, you would have to go half year. Like, you can't even, I wouldn't even go to a quarter.
No, I don't think you can count quarterly results as even short term.
that's what I was thinking. I don't know. I'm just saying they're still kicking that can. They're still saying, "Hey, better days are coming."
And I'm always open to being proven wrong, and we'll see.
We'll see.
But so far, we've been devastatingly correct on Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really, really scary.
I'm going to throw this one out there as a we were right and another thing. Tesla heat check.
Yeah. I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm out, and we were right. That's
right.
all I have to say.
Everybody is out.
And we were right to be out.
And also, Elon may be out.
He is out. He's out.
Out. He's
Elon
out now.
is out.
Yep.
2-year ban.
Funny story, actually. Segue from Tesla. All the stuff that we were always talking about. My mom, because she knows, again, interested in this kind of thing. She's moving to a new job. One of her future coworkers was very proud because he had purchased his Model S. Oh. And he was talking to her about it, and in the back of her mind, she had known that we rag on Tesla a lot, and she's kind of like, yeah, is that really a good car, though? And actually texted me and was like, my coworker's all excited about getting his Tesla, and he's like, so what do you think? And she's like, kind of like, with like a ... at the end, kind of implying that she knows that I wasn't going to be a big fan. And she texted me, I think just yesterday or the day before, saying that her coworker was out for a drive, and the weather got cold. He turned the heater on, and he got stuck. He ran out of juice and had to get towed because he turned his heater on.
Yep.
That is the problem with electric cars.
It's kind of real.
In any part of the Midwest. I'm sorry, it is. Unless you're in California where the weather's good and you've got superchargers everywhere, they are not the answer yet. And we were right about that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, there's all this we were right stuff. We haven't even talked about Nick yet. We haven't even talked about all the stuff that he got right yet.
Because he was batting 1,000.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Have you heard of a guy called Scott Dixon?
Have you met Scott Dixon?
Have you met Scott?
If you've listened to this podcast, you have. If you've read our blogs, check out
you
podcast.com. You have.
Yeah. I'm not going to get into stats and numbers, but like his career stats, you can read the blog for that. CheckenginePodcast.com. I think it was end of May, early June, we started talking about, hey, remember that Dixon guy that we blogged about? He's got on a pretty hot streak lately, like a first, third, a fourth, a first, a third, a fourth. And he held on to it all the way through the end of the year, wrapped up his 5th championship in a series where I said not a lot of numbers, but I'm just going to throw this out there. Last year's champion, Joseph Newgarden, had an average finish this year of 7th.
Okay.
Out of 20, depending on the race, 24 to 33 if you count Indianapolis, right?
Sure. At least 25.
Yeah, we'll say 25 average per race. He finished 7th out of 25 average. That's pretty damn good. That's
good.
He finished 5th in the points.
Wow.
With a 7th average.
Okay.
That's how competitive that series is, and Dixon's won it 5 times.
That's really something.
That's crazy.
Nick told you. He said, hey.
Watch that Dixon kid.
Indy 500, Will Power won it. He was one of my 3 favorite picks. I think he was my favorite number 2. Check the blog. Check enginepodcast.com. It was up there. What else do we get right?
I mean, I gotta say, the racing ones were really impressive to me. The other thing that you did say at your Indy preview was talking about the Indy body kits, which we will cover, or will have covered by the time this comes out in the end of the year racing review.
We haven't thought of a name, clearly, because we just called it 2 different things.
Well, you said there was going to be more competitive racing. You said it was going to be faster, more exciting, and it was all that from what I...
It was all of that. The oval still needs some work, as you will have heard by now on the Racing Roundup episode.
Time is a funny thing.
But, yeah, you talk about Mid-Ohio, a bull ring of a track. no yellows to bunch the field up, over 180 passes for position.
That's pretty sweet.
That is incredible. Road America had even more than that, I think.
But
Again,
no
with
yellows
caution.
on Road America is really impressive with a new body kit like that.
Yeah. So
You would think they would literally just be crashing all over the place. But they know what they're doing.
that's why, again, that like we were talking about Josh, that's why they pay them to do it. They're pretty good.
Ooh. Oh my gosh.
Did we
Another
miss
thing
one?
to write about. I totally forgot about this. You remember way back towards the beginning of the podcast when Cadillac announced that they were going to make a mid-engine sports car, and I said, bullshit, that's going to be a Corvette? You remember that?
Nick doesn't remember anything about that, does he?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I got no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. That was one.
That was one of them.
Unfortunately, I'll have to give it to you, but I don't like it. Yeah, that was a good one.
Here's a hot one. Here's a hot one from, the week after? I'm trying to remember when we were talking about, it would have been the racing roundup.
Okay.
So the week after the listeners hear that episode,
So the week they're hearing this episode?
I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear any words. Anyways, something new just happened today. We posted on the blog.
Oh, yeah.
Not on the blog, on the Facebook page. IMSA announced that they are bringing, for real, Hyundai Velocers into the Michelin Cup now.
Michelin Pilot Cup.
Michelin Pilot Cup now, which I talked about on that episode, saying if Hyundai does this, if they were to bring that i30 chassis that just won the constructors
In Pirelli World
in
Challenge.
PWC, they could do that. All they have to do is engineer the body, bring it into IMSA, but I think that they're only going to do that if they're going to sell the N. Hey, they've done it. They brought him over.
It remains to be seen. Maybe the We Were Right 2019, if the
Is
N-
gonna contain they
sold
did
it.
make the Veloster N in volume.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited to find out now. But
I'm excited for that. I'm not as big a Hyundai fan as you, obviously, but I'm excited for the series and for that class because it was essentially just an Audi spec series. So the fact that there's going to be some variety in the
yeah,
TCR
I'm sorry, we didn't
class
mention. Yeah, it's going into TCR.
is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, really, for a while there, it was just the MQB Cup.
So,
But that's a fresh one. I'm excited.
we had a hell of a first year.
Yeah.
We were right about a lot of stuff that had caught us off guard, and
Yeah, I mean, I have absolutely no hopes that this will continue.
No.
Into a second season.
This was absolute beginner's
I had no
luck.
hope that it was going to happen in the first place.
Exactly.
And I was gobsmacked by it happening the first time.
it is absolute beginner's luck. So don't expect it again, folks. But we were right about a ton of stuff.
That's why we're celebrating now.
We're celebrating now with beer and
Because we
other
can.
things. What do you guys plan on doing during the break?
I want to come up with some very clear ideas for what we want to do next year. I want to line our plans up, create a little hierarchy, a little spending chart from all our generous Patreon and Anchor donations.
Yes.
I want to make this better. I want to keep it going. I want to make it better.
Yeah, to that end, it kind of, our new season resolutions are going to line up pretty well with that. I'm going to be trying to do some hardware and software research, trying to get the best sound out of these three idiots behind a mic as I can. That's
Tristan's
me.
job is to make us sound way cooler than we are.
Definitely.
I'm trying my best.
By the way, the last episode sounded really good.
It
Good.
did.
I thought.
Good.
Well done, Tristan.
And so that's going to be my podcast work as far as the actual recordings go. The other thing I'm going to work on is utilizing this neat thing called a calendar.
What's that?
It's a thing that it's got dates on it, and you can put stuff on the dates, digitally or physically. And then when it rolls around, you'll be like, oh yeah, I should do that today, so that I'll ever write a blog on time.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That would help. That'd be
be
great.
helpful.
Because whenever it's mine, it's always the Friday late blog.
the gap week. The gap week. Or
Yep.
3.
Or 3 or whatever. I want to start, I think, just to challenge myself, I want to get more creative with episode ideas. That's going to be something I'm thinking about over the break.
That's the other thing. I got to replenish the old idea book. It's basically empty at this point.
We made it a year, though.
Yeah.
That's impressive. I didn't think we'd get this far. So I want to try to help Andrew out with the episode idea portion. I actually want to start not talking about, well, I guess with you guys or other people, different business sides of this. Merchandising. I want to see what's out there as far as like LLCs and business bank accounts and those types of things. So we can actually utilize, again, what's coming in on the Patreon. We have a place to put it, basically, when we go to redeem.
Yep.
I'm going to try to handle that end. It's, as much as I love doing this, as much fun as it's been, I'm looking forward to having a few Fridays off just to kind of relax.
Sure.
Kind of clear your head a little bit. And come back at it super strong next year. I'm going to be watching a lot of basketball because that's what I do when racing's over. Unless you can find, like, I will be that guy who at like 3 a.m. on CBS Sports or Velocity, there's like British Touring Car Championship from last May. I'll be tuning in.
Time shifted racing.
Yeah, I'll be definitely tuning into some of those just to try to get my fix.
And then my last, what I'll be working on over the break, because I want to kind of make it a what do you fans think? Something we've been bandying around for a while is occasionally trying to do video recordings of these podcast sessions.
Definitely.
Because
Absolutely.
I think as entertaining as we are in an oral sense, I think we're going to be equally entertaining to your eyeballs.
Just really liked how you hard pronounce that A.
Yeah, because it's not an oral sense.
But yes,
I mean, it could be.
Some of the times when you've heard us on here laughing as hard as we have has come from like a facial expression or something silent that I think would just, that would add another element to this thing.
I mean, come on, let's be real here. We're all just want to do more video segments because they get more engagement.
Well, that too.
I'm not beyond being mercenary.
No.
I also think it would be fun.
It would be. It would be fun. We've had good success with them as we've done them already.
The couple of Facebook, one of our Facebook lives from Road America, I got a notification. It was like that weekend. It was the 3rd most popular video produced in Wisconsin.
Yeah, getting on those charts.
So,
come on, that's something cool.
And we charted in Australia this year.
Yeah, we did.
Good day, Aussies.
We've got listeners in Japan.
We got listeners in Japan and Korea.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's great. Canada. We got listeners. I mean, it's been a whale of a year. Super thankful for it. Mm-hmm. Thanks to Andrew for bringing this up. For kind of pushing this on us.
I honestly don't remember this being my idea at all. I don't think it was.
Definitely your
It was
idea.
definitely your idea.
Okay.
and then you got Andrew about it and kind of forced us into doing it.
You're welcome.
So yeah, thank you. It's been great. I've had way more fun than I thought it would be.
I really don't think this was my idea.
It was your idea.
It was your idea.
Okay. I don't remember that.
Yeah, honestly, I thought this would be work.
It is. It is a little work.
Yeah.
If we want to make it good, we got to work at it.
But no, I think there's a difference. I think there are things that take effort, and there's work.
Oh, I gotcha.
And this is a thing that takes effort, but it is not work.
Agreed.
If you're doing what you enjoy, you don't work a day in your life, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, is it about time that we sign off on the 2018
I think
season?
so. The only thing I was going to ask is if anyone has a car of the year. It can be for any reason. For
Oh wow!
What do you think the car of 2018 was? I think it's clear. The car of the year is the Tesla Model 3.
The one that wasn't produced.
That's right. The one that had headlines for the entirety of the year. The one that's only now being shipped, and the one that's now back at Motor Trend. Because remember, we talked about it not completing the lap.
Yep.
They did a custom build and sent it back to Motor Trend, who's going to run it on the track, which they've never done before for any producer in the history of their magazine. It's the Model 3. It's everywhere.
Yep.
It's the most influential car of 2018.
Yep, I agree. For better or for worse, hate it or love it, it's everywhere.
Model 3.
My pick is any car that Ford makes.
So you don't have a pick?
Exactly.
Bum, bum,
Oh, wait,
bum.
sorry. You mean the Mustang?
Oh, killed it.
Watch this, Tristan. It was the Bullet Mustang.
Shut up. That was
The eye roll was monumental.
See, that's why we need cameras.
Yep, exactly.
What a year.
What a year.
Thanks to all the listeners and readers. And I just never thought to have an audience
of any kind for
kind.
his crazy ideas.
I think the two parts that stuck out for me was the first time I saw a like on the Facebook page that I'm like, oh, that must be one of Andrew or Tristan's friends because I don't know this person. And then you guys asked me, do you know, like, the first person that none of us knew.
And we all opened it and clicked on that person and said, and then not only that, was like, not only were they not friends with any of us, there was no friends in common.
Yeah, that was huge.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
That was huge. And then the couple of times we were at races later in the year, you know, like Road America in August, when we had people, we were wearing our shirts and people came up and told me that they recognized the logo. And I thought, well, you must have been in Mid-Ohio then. And then when someone came up and met us and we introduced ourselves, and Andrew said, yeah, I'm Andrew. And they said, I recognize your voice.
That felt really weird.
That
It felt really weird to me.
You got fans.
I don't even know. They might have hated it.
They recognize you because they hate it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, for those type of, and we're by no means a big podcast,
No.
but those little things, like, it's
They all
like,
add
damn,
up.
we're doing something okay here.
Keeps us going.
We're doing something okay here.
Yep.
So thank you.
International fans. When I saw the first international fan,
Ooh, that's
I
good.
almost flipped out. It was great.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I don't think we really need to go into like who we're thanking because it's pretty obvious, right?
Yep,
It's everybody.
Yep, I was say, I think we can only have one big thank you this time.
Whoever's listened, whoever's read, whoever has come up to us in public, whoever has accepted one of our stickers to put on their cooler or their race car.
Yep.
You guys are the reason that we do this, and
Even
we
as
can't thank
far-
you enough.
Even as far as thanking those that do what Nick asks you to do at the beginning of every episode. Even if you don't like it, if you shared it with somebody that likes it, and then now they're listening to us, thank you too.
Yeah. Really, it is thanks to everyone. If you've engaged with this podcast at all, then you've done your part.
And
More than we ever expected or maybe even deserved.
And we appreciate every single engagement or effort that's made in person, online, wherever it may be. Thanks for a fantastic 2018 season. You guys stay safe, have a good holiday season, and you will be hearing from us again very soon after the clock turns over to 2019. So
And that will be hearing from us. Bear in mind, there will still be content for you.
Yes.
To tide you over.
yes,
To make
So-
your holidays cheerful and bright.
Well, what that means is follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Check Engine Pod, Instagram at Check Engine Pod. We're still going to be posting on the blog. Still going to be checkenginepodcast.com. We will have content. We will not abandon you.
And we will still be accepting comments, concerns, questions about previous episodes.
Definitely.
And we will hopefully be, once we get enough, addressing them all in 2019.
absolutely. So, as always, we cannot wait to talk to you again, even if it's a little bit longer from the end of this episode, but we will definitely be talking to you guys again. Thank you so much. Good night.
Bye.